What is going on, guys? What is going on? Let's see if you can hear me. What is going on, guys? How you guys doing? We have some people in the live stream already. Let me just tweet this out really quick. How do I get a link for this? What is going on? What is going on? We're going to be talking about everything in the market, so just sit tight. It's likely going to be a choppy day in the market. I can tweet this out. Let me know if you can hear me, by the way. The stream seems to be doing fine, but let me know if you can hear me. Oh, we got a full house. Stem, what's going on? Richard, what's going on? Giovanni, Ed, what's going on, guys? All right, let me tweet this out real quick. I know I've said this time and time again. All right. So, and then we'll talk about the markets ASAP. But let me know what it is that you guys want to discuss as it relates to the markets, as it relates to crypto, as it relates to your stocks, any questions that you have regarding options. I'm here for it all. So ask away. All right, live now, blah, 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 blah. Okay, tweet. Cool. All right, so sent that out. So obviously, shaky day in the market. Not a real surprise if this is what you've woken up to. It's obviously we're getting more and more inflation data. The main CPI data came out on on last Friday, and this is really just we're getting ancillary data about inflation. So today, for instance, we got inflation regarding the produce price index. Sorry, producer price index, right? Which is a lesser reading than the CPI, but it's all pointing to inflation looking terrible, to be honest. If we take a look at the markets, they were more in the red at the futures, and we're seeing now the Dow's actually green. The S&P is down 0.5%. NASDAQ is taking the biggest hit. Not really a surprise because of the fact that when rates go up or when rates are expected to go up, that's when growth stocks take a hit. And this idea of growth stocks, I hear this all the time. And, when people refer to growth stocks, they're normally referring to their, their Fubo TV stock. They're referring to Skills. They're referring to Palantir. They're referring to these companies that aren't really classified as growth stocks. Those are growth potential stocks, right? Some of them have seen growth, like Palantir, but those are really potentials. Growth stocks are exactly what they sound like. They're stocks that are expected to grow, and they're expected to grow year on year by a certain percentage. So if you look at a stock like Microsoft, if you look at a stock like Apple or Amazon, those stocks are expected to grow year over year. And that is in contrast to a value stock. So when we're talking about value stocks, think about the best example that I can give for a delineation between value stocks and growth stocks. Think of airlines, for instance, right? There are only so many people in the US, and there are only so many flights that someone can take per year. So they're not expected to grow every single year because they are a service that just exists. And yeah, there are some years where people travel more than others, but they're not expected to continuously grow, evolve, include more service offerings, et cetera, in order to keep growing the company, right? They're expected to be profitable, but not grow at a steady rate in the same way that Amazon, Microsoft, Apple are expected to grow and keep their landscape competitive every single year. That's why you see them make these acquisitions all the time, right? Like Facebook, for instance, it bought WhatsApp, it bought Instagram. Now it's transitioning to the metaverse. That's because it is a growth stock, and Wall Street is expecting them to grow. So hopefully it's clear why there is a distinction between a growth stock and a value stock there. All right, let me get to your guys' questions real quick. All right. So someone is asking about Neo, CLNE. Okay, hold on. Now the chat is just jumping all over the place. All right, 1 second. All right. So, what do you think about crowd? What's up, Z? My question: do you love me? What's going on, Ed? All right. What about SE? Okay, we'll go over SE. We'll go over SHIB. We want to discuss tax loss, please. Okay, ask a question. Don't be so vague. What do you want to ask about tax loss? If you're reading this, you need to like the video. Yes, guys, hit that thumbs up in the video so that more people can find it, for sure. All right. Allie says, long time no see. What's going on, Allie? How you been? Yes, I haven't seen you in forever. Tony, what's going on? Ashley, what is going on? Should I get out of pins? I don't know. It depends on when you bought pins and what do you think of pins? How much of your portfolio does it constitute, right? Morning, good people, loud and clear. What's up, Sammy? What's up, Dem? Dory, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? All right, so we'll talk about SHIB. We'll talk about SE because I actually want to hear, go over SE. Coast City says, like to hear your best bets on tomorrow's action. I think that, as I said in my previous video, that this is really the precursor to, to the Fed meeting, and that the Fed will likely do what is expected, right? So all the shakiness, you see this a little bit before the Fed meeting, and it's not even that bad. Like if you take a look at the VIX, which is generally considered, and we'll talk about GME in a second because I want to go over this. But if you take a look at the VIX, which is considered the fear and greed index, right? Or really the fear index, not so much the fear and greed index, but you'll see that, it's at 21. It's not super high like it was last week when we were anticipating the inflation numbers and whatnot, when there were more fears about Omicron, when the vaccine companies, didn't definitively come out and say, hey, if you're boosted, you don't need to worry about this. So it's not that bad, to be honest. Like the VIX hovering around 20 or 21 doesn't really signal a ton of fear. So I actually don't expect there to be, again, we don't know what Jerome Powell is going to say. It really is dependent on what he says, but I don't think he's an idiot, and I don't think he wants to spoil Christmas. And he already telegraphed his position. He already telegraphed what they are going to do, right? He said that they are going to look at a faster taper. So that is honestly what I expect. I don't really think that it's going to be, anything out of this world. So it'll either be flat, or we might even see a relief green day, because after what he says, after that passes, then the market might feel like this weight has been lifted off of their shoulders, off of our shoulders, right? The other thing is the cyclical data that I talked about in my last video, the Larry Williams cyclical data that shows, right around what is the best time to buy stocks in December. Really what that means is, when can we expect a rally in December? It doesn't mean that you should buy and sell so quickly, right? Unless you are a day trader, that's a different story. But so, I do expect there to be some relief starting tomorrow. And then, around next week, we will likely see a Santa rally. But, be wary that towards the end of the year is when we start getting accelerated selling from tax loss harvesting, because people want to take losses on their stocks. And I know that seems counterintuitive to you guys who grew up in the era of diamond handing and hodling, right? That why would you want to sell your stocks? Just hold it forever. No. If you made gains on Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, the big names that you're supposed to make gains on, and you're holding bags of shit that you don't want to hold forever, then it is time to offload those, because you're actually getting a tax advantage. Obviously, talk to your accountant. Do what is right for you. Don't listen to me. I'm not an accountant, but I do trade stocks, and I have been trading them for 2 decades. So I know a little bit about tax loss harvesting. But if you're holding stocks that are down 50%, for instance, you need that stock to rally 100% just to break even, right? I've showed this chart before. Again, if this is the first time you're seeing this, screenshot this, because this will be one of the most valuable tools you'll have against, some of the, I would say, some of the beginner mentality that has been stifling your gains. As you progress and you learn to become a better trader and investor over the years, you pick up tools along the way. This is one of those tools that, if you are reminded of consistently, will allow you to make better decisions, will allow you to set stop limits, will allow you to not go overweight on shit stocks, even if that shit stock at that time seemed promising, which is fine. We've all bought stocks that we thought were going to be promising or had hope for those stocks, but it didn't turn out the way we expected. However, those aren't the stocks that you go 50% in your portfolio on. So if you're looking at this, if you're down 50% on a stock, you need it to rally by 100% just to break even. This is just basic math. The situation gets even more grim, obviously, the more down the stock is. If a stock is down 70%, it needs to rally by 233% just to break even. So if we take a look, an example of this would be like, I don't know, Jumia, right? A stock that a lot of people bought. Unfortunately, a stock that a lot of people went overweight. Again, if you made a bad decision on a stock and it didn't turn out the way you wanted, that is fine. But Jumia is down over 80%. So this was a great example, okay? Because I know that this was one that lingered from the hype 2020 year when everybody with a YouTube channel was saying, oh, I'm going all in on Jumia. So if you're down 80%, like a lot of people who bought the highs are in Jumia, you need Jumia to rally 400% just to break even. That is not, that's non-negotiable, man. Diamond handing this is really, really dumb. So what people do towards the end of the year is they tax loss harvest, meaning that they actually offload these shares, sell them for a loss, because that loss you get to write off against your gains. Otherwise, that money is going straight to Uncle Sam, right? If you made, I don't know, $50,000 on your stock account and you have losses that you haven't locked in, well, you cannot counter your gains. You cannot get a tax advantage on those gains without countering it with losses, and those losses don't count unless you lock them in. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any more questions on it, let's discuss it. All right, let me get to your questions, and then I will get to the tickers. All right, So hopefully that made sense in terms of tax loss harvesting. Parachit, is the market going to crash eventually? Yes. And TD Ameritrade moms, when I sell calls against the shares, TD Ameritrade moms? Jack, what are you talking about, TD Ameritrade moms? When I sell calls against the shares, I have it baked into my cost basis. Does that mean I pay taxes when I sell my shares? Your options and your shares are considered two different assets, okay? They're considered separate. So if you're buying and selling the option, you are locking in either gains or losses on the option. If one of those events triggers a transaction on the shares, then you will pay. You will either take a gain or a loss on the shares, but they're completely different assets as it relates to taxes. What effect will the Fed meeting have on cryptos in general? Well, the Fed is, the Fed. Crypto right now is inextricably tied to the equities markets, and I'll show you how to find that. It's called the correlation coefficient. You could see at what point the markets are tied to each other, right? So if I look at Bitcoin right now, and this is a great place. I like Bitcoin is holding the 200-day moving average. This is what I was saying in our crypto update. But if we pull up the correlation coefficient, and you could tie this to, and by the way, this is for the newbies. This is TradingView. So if you do the SPX, which is the S&P 500, and you apply this, you'll see that the blue here, right? The higher it is above zero, the more correlated it is with the market that you chose. So if we look at the weekly chart, you'll see that really Bitcoin is highly correlated with the S&P 500, right? There are times when it falls out of correlation. Either it gains when the market is dropping or it loses value when the market is rallying. However, right now it is correlated. And for most of 2020, you look at this heavy correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P 500. As a matter of fact, if you guys were a part of the Discord, you remember that last year in 2020, we don't do this as much now because there isn't that heavy correlation for a long period of time. But what we were doing was we would front run our Bitcoin trades, right, with what's going on in the future. So we noticed a trend where the S&P futures, say they were really green in 2020, and Bitcoin hadn't responded yet, right? It hadn't turned green yet. Well, then we would open longs on Bitcoin in anticipation that when the S&P 500 actually opens, when the market opens, that then that price action will dictate what happens to Bitcoin, which is expected to be a rally since the market is green. So we used to actually do this in 2020. The market a bit choppier in 2021, and the correlation fell out of favor a few times between BTC and the S&P 500. But you can see now that the market is correlated. So, if the market goes up, you will likely see Bitcoin bounce off of this level too. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let us go over GME and AMC real quick. So going over GameStop. So the reason that these shares tumbled for a few reasons, right? One, on AMC, the CEO and CFO had sold about what was it, 90 million in shares? Someone correct me. I don't know why 90. It's either 90 million or 10 million. I can't remember. Either way, the news story is that the insiders sold shares, but this is something that Adam Aron said that he was going to do. I think he telegraphed this back in the summer. So he said that he was going to sell shares, and that he was going to do it likely towards the end of the year. They'd be stupid not to do this, right? Obviously, they need to, lock in some of those gains. But respect, because he could have done it when, AMC was at $70-something. However, that then caused a wave of panic selling, right? And it's like a snowball. So once people start selling, then more people start selling, then more people start selling. Like, you have to remember, at the end of the day, we're apes. So if we see something losing value right before our very eyes, our survival instinct is to offload that. Now, unfortunately, I think that people hold things for too long, and don't really understand market dynamics, don't really understand that insiders can dump whenever the hell they want, and they don't owe you anything. So yes, you can scream about diamond handing AMC all you want, but the truth of the matter is, if insiders sell, they're dumping their shares on you. So, look out for yourself. Nobody really has your best interest in mind in the market besides yourself, okay? So anyway, that's what caused AMC to tumble. And so then, because AMC and GME are tied, they have almost identical charts, very different price points. You saw people dumping GME as well. However, they are both at the 300-day moving average. This red line here, something that hasn't happened on GME since August 2020. Something that hasn't happened on AMC since, I think, around the same time. Might have been January 2021 on AMC. Either way, if you are going to enter here, I would say that set a stop limit below this. So if I entered AMC here, I would set a stop limit at around $19. If I enter GME here, which I don't mind at the 300-day moving average, by the way, I do think, these things do ebb and flow. We will see a wave of buyers coming in. But I would set a stop limit on GME at 125. So yeah, if you take a look at the at the volume, and we'll take a look at the short interest as well. But if you take a look at the volume and short interest, this is on AMC. The short interest is actually not. It really hasn't moved that much. So the short interest on AMC right now is they changed their interface, dude. Ortex changed their interface. So it is hovering around 19%. So, pretty high still on AMC. And this divergence here, historically, when you see the price drop and short interest rise a little bit, that's when you see price rallies on AMC. And the days to cover, this went from 2.14 to currently 2.33. So the days to cover also went up, which is essentially what you need for a short squeeze. Now, what helped AMC and GME squeeze in the past wasn't only the short interest, but was also the gamma squeeze effect, meaning people were pouring money into call options. So let us take a look at what what the options look like. I just want to see what is the volume currently on AMC. I think it is doing, because its average volume is 43 million, and I want to see what volume we have currently. Yeah, so we are currently doing way above 40 million, right? We're currently doing almost 83, almost double the volume right now on AMC. So I would say that we are potentially likely to see a bounce from here because of the fact that days to cover is going up, short interest is going up, and the volume is almost double what it typically does. So there's clearly people coming in here to buy this right now at around the 300-day moving average, and you can see that it's up, almost 3 to 4% today. But again, I wouldn't hold these things without stop limits. You could also sell cash secured puts you could sell cash secured puts on AMC or GME if you're willing to buy 100 shares of either at a lower price. So you could certainly do so on AMC because it's a lot cheaper than GME if you have a smaller budget. But remember, these things are risky. So take that with a grain of salt. But that is the analysis on AMC and GME. I think we do see a pop from here. All right, let me go back to your question. I'd like to know, what would you do if you get assigned Tesla and you have a small account? Those two things can't happen. If you get assigned Tesla and you have a small account, good luck. If you're forced to buy 100 shares of Tesla, that's what? It's trading at what, like $950 right now? So that's $95,000. What are you going to do if you have a small account? You're going to get margin called, is what's going to happen. Tons of inflation, no surprise. So what? Yeah, exactly. I do think it's mostly priced in. All right. Let's see. Oh, we did get some donations, so I'm missing them. Let me go through them. Nisha says Neo and Lucid. Richard McGuire donated $5. Thank you so much, Richard. Okay. What do you think about back ratio spreads? Come on, Richard. You can't donate and then ask me a question like that. Like, what about them? What do you specifically? I don't know. I can't really answer that. I like them if they're used appropriately. A day trader's life expectancy is 30 years. Well, I'm 10 years above that, so I guess I'm living above average right now. Thanks for the response. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. How do you prevent a wash sale? You don't buy something back within 30 days after selling it for a loss. So a wash sale is basically if you bought something and you sold it for a loss, you don't then buy it back within 30 days for a gain, right? That's what a wash sale is. Not sure what that has to do with tax loss harvesting. Completely different things. When the market is red, you don't seem to be traveling so much. Can you resume traveling to the market? No, sometimes I just get tired and I really want to crank out videos and stuff. So if I'm always traveling, I find that I get irritated because my productivity is pretty, not low, but is lower than when I'm at home and I have a studio and, yeah. All right. My man, how are you? I'm holding some options on BMRN, MRNS, TAC, Lucid, and they are negative. Should I wait till they rally? They are expiring on 17th. Guys, learn how to paper trade before jumping into options, okay? Like, I say this with all seriousness. Paper trade before jumping into options. If you're planning on holding call options until this Friday and they expire this Friday, then in all seriousness, you have no business yet trading options. Options are time decaying instruments, okay? They are designed to lose value over time, just like a sports bet is designed to lose value over time, because the more information that is priced in, the less valuable your bet becomes. If you show up at the sports book before a game starts and you want to bet on a game, right? That bet is going to have the highest value because the game hasn't started yet. If you come in the fourth quarter and you want to bet on a game, well, most of the game has already been played out, right? So in order to win a bet, you're going to need to pay a lot more. So your bet is less valuable. Okay? Does that make sense? Same thing with options. They lose value over time by design. If your option, especially if your option is in the red, but even if your option was in the green, you don't hold it until expiration. That is not the way. Because it loses value over time, and theta decay accelerates even more during options expiration week. So please paper trade, do some reading, see how options move on expirations week before jumping into trading options. I mean, it's unfortunately too many people do this. So no, you should not wait until Friday. Your options are going to zero, my friend. With options, you want to trade them well before expiration, buy them and sell them well before expiration. All right. You think Curry going to break the 3-point record tonight? Yes. He only needs one, right? He only needs one to either tie or break the record. Yes, for sure he will break it tonight. Anonymous donated $5. Thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. What do you think of Ford? Guys, more specific questions, please. What do I think of Ford? I bought it when it was 12, and I think it was a great buy at the time. Hey, Z, sorry, my donation question did not go through. Do you like Income Realty? It makes up a quarter of my portfolio. What do you think of the ticker ALLO? Do you like biotech stocks? No, I don't like biotech stocks if you're talking about biotech unproven stocks. Biotech stocks in general could be pretty profitable if they are already a profitable company that has shown that they can grow. If you're talking about stocks that have, sort of FDA approval dates coming out or whatever, no, I don't particularly like going heavy on those. I guess O is, I don't know. I don't know why this would be a quarter of your portfolio. Yeah, I don't like this for sure. You're talking about a company that has missed earnings that only brings in $480 million a quarter. Sure, it pays a dividend. Seems like a healthy dividend, but I wouldn't make this a quarter of my portfolio. So no. I mean, it looks like you're dabbling in a lot of risk here. ALLO, I mean, technically, I guess we could see a bounce from here, like a double bottom bounce. I don't know much else about it. But no, these aren't the types of stocks that I would load my portfolio with. Sure, if you want to mess around with, a few here and there, sure. But I wouldn't overload my portfolio on this. Guys, hit that thumbs up on the stream if you haven't already so that more people can find the stream, because we are trying to dish out sensible market information. All right. Do you consider DraftKings a growth stock? No, it is not a growth stock. I mean, dude, look at the stocks that I named as growth stocks. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. Do you think DraftKings belongs there? No. Tax loss harvesting question. Do I have a realized stock gain in order to sell a bag for the tax gains? Yes. Or, depending on how your tax, depending on how your tax designation is set up, you can offset losses from trading against gains that you've made in other areas like your job or your business, etc. All right. Where do you look to add AMD and NVIDIA on the dip if you didn't have a position on it already? Well, why wouldn't you have a position on it already? There isn't always a good opportunity to buy stocks that you've missed. In my opinion, these stocks right now are trading at insane multiples. You could start dollar cost averaging here because they are down from highs. Like NVIDIA was down, 17%. And that's a pretty good discount on a profitable mega cap semiconductor growth stock, and it is sitting at the 50-day moving average. But I would not be surprised to see these stocks drop some more at some point. But again, I mean, dollar cost average here. Yes, 17% down. You can start dollar cost averaging. But when people ask that question, they're usually asking for permission to go all in. And I wouldn't, but you could start a position there. AMD, same thing at the 50 MA. I know you mentioned 800 could happen for Tesla, but what would be a solid leap call? There are no solid leap calls on Tesla, in my opinion. Tesla is something that you likely want to sell options against because the premium is so good on selling Tesla options and not buying leap calls. I'm not a fan of buying leap calls. Now, last year, yes, you could make the case that you could buy a shit ton of calls on Tesla. But here, trading at almost $1,000, I think people are losing sight of just where its price is, right? Like someone on the Discord today was saying, "Oh my God, Tesla's bleeding or whatever." I'm like, dude, it's trading near $1,000, right? The high just 2 months ago was $900, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." And now, it's trading at 960. Everyone thinks that this is like Tesla's like bleeding to death. Just keep things in perspective. But no, I generally do not buy leap calls on Tesla at this moment. 2020, you can make a case for it. Now I wouldn't. I would rather sell cash secure puts, and I sell calls against my shares on Tesla. And and people know, I haven't been assigned either in almost 2 years. I've never been assigned on a Tesla cash secure put. Never. And I've never been assigned on a Tesla covered call. Never. So, all right. Let's see. What up, Z Diddy? Hey, what's going on, Kanal? How you doing, man? How you become so smart? Read books, practice, or mentoring? Thank you, one, for the compliment. Two, you just gotta. You don't have to be smart, and I'm not saying I'm smart at all, but you don't. There are no results without hard work, right? So, you really have to live and breathe this stuff if you want to do it for a living. But it's experience, man. Like someone who's been in the market for 20 years is going to sound very different from someone who started an account in 2020. So it's really just the will to learn and actually putting in the time, right? Alistair, I moved to Hollywood. Should I have moved to West LA? Yes, man. Hollywood sucks. For sure. I mean, West LA is where it's at. So I live on the west side, and the beach is like 2 minutes from here. It's amazing. Do you see AMC ever squeezing? I just went over AMC. Rewind the tape. But yeah, it's not going to squeeze in the way that you think. Oh, that is one thing I wanted to look at was AMC and GME options. Because what helped the squeeze last time was the fact that we had a bunch of calls come in. Now we are seeing that here. So you see that the open interest change on AMC right now, 104,547 open interest change. And in terms of the volume, just today we're seeing 473,794. So yes, we could easily see a squeeze on AMC. Is it going to go back to $70? Probably not. But yes, you can easily see a price rally from here for sure. Just because of the fact that the short interest is still around 20 or 19%, and the fact that we are seeing a lot of pumping here in terms of the call options, which it's called a gamma squeeze when, stocks rally because of call options. Because the way that this happens, just a short, I guess, a short lesson on gamma squeezes. When market makers are forced to sell calls, right? So when you want to go out and buy a call on AMC, a market maker is forced to sell you that call, right? Or I guess incentivized to sell you that call because he or she wants to make money. So when they sell you that call, they don't want to be short call options on AMC. So what they do is they go out and buy 100 shares to cover that call, to cover their ass, right? Because if you're assigned on a call, then now you are forced to sell AMC at a certain price. And they don't want to be short the calls if AMC rallies. So that's why they go out and buy 100 shares of AMC per option that they sell. And that is what's called a gamma squeeze, because so many calls are being dumped into AMC or whatever their stock is, that the market makers are going out and buying shares themselves. And especially if that company has high short interest, then them going out and buying the shares against a high short interest environment will then, likely see a jump in the stock price. And that's why you're seeing AMC and GME both up today, because of all of this rabid call buying, with the fact that they're at the 300-day moving average. So, yeah. What do you think about apps call options for January? No, I don't like it. Is Doge a buy for the long? I mean, no. Doge is not a buy for the long term. It's certainly a tradable coin, but there was an Elon pump yesterday when he said, what did he say? He said something like, I can see it used for payments of some sort. I don't know, but that fizzled out quickly. You see this long wick here. That's not a good sign. Anytime you see these green candles with these long wicks, that means that the smart money dumped on FOMO buyers, right? Because what happens is the thing will pump, and then FOMO buyers will jump in here, and someone's buying at the top, right? But then the sellers are like, all right, time to take profits, peace, and they start dumping their coins on the folks that bought at the top. That's why you see these long wicks here, and then the price tanks. So same thing happened yesterday with the pump, the Elon pump. But no, I don't see it as a good buy for the long term. Someone asked me about SHIB. So now that we're talking about crypto, let's just go over that. But this is a good setup here at the 100-day moving average. Because, we're forming this descending channel, which tends to break to the upside when it is broken. It hit the 100-day moving average. It hit this wick back on December 4th, and we are now resting on it. So prudent traders will want to wait until this breaks, right? And you get a close above the descending channel or the descending wedge. However, yes, you could buy it here and set a stop limit below, although, more volatile coins can have violent wicks that can stop you out prematurely. So really a couple ways to play here, but sitting at the 100-day moving average, yeah, I'd be interested to see what happens there. Another stock that I'm looking at is the crypto.com stock coin. Excuse me. The CRO coin sitting at the 50-day moving average here at around 0.53. I definitely like this one for the long term, especially all the noise that you guys see crypto.com making, and the fact that these exchange-based coins like Binance Coin or the KuCoin coin, right? How much they've rallied. So I do think there's a room for CRO to rally, and it's sitting here at the bottom of this KC channel, this Keltner channel, which kind of acts like a Bollinger Band. You could think of it in that manner. But yeah. All right. And for those of you that missed what I was saying about the Fed tomorrow, I do think that the Fed will likely come through and say something that is expected. And I think that the market will see some relief tomorrow, either in the form of a rally or in the form of potentially just sideways trading. But yeah. I have a six-figure account. Thoughts on whether I should trade on margin or not? That's a personal decision, man. That's up to you. Don't ask me. what percentage of margin should I be on? That's on you, man. I'm not gonna make decisions for your account. But personally, what I use margin for, if you want to know what I do, what I use margin for is, um, I I use that to sell cash secured puts, right? So again, when you're selling cash secured puts, you are obligated to buy 100 shares of the stock at the strike price that you sold the put at if your option is in the money by the date of expiration. So if I come here and I sell cash secured puts on, on Tesla, which you could probably sell for a juicy amount right now. Let me see, actually. Let me go to my trading account. Let me go to Tesla, and we can actually look at this live, okay? All right. Order entry. No, okay. So if you look at Tesla here, right? And you want to sell the cash secure put, you can go out to, like, say, March, and you could sell a put for a ridiculous amount of money, okay? And this is where margin helps. So on Tesla right now is currently trading at 951. We know Elon sold a shitload of shares. If you go out to March, this is what's insane right now, okay? You could sell a $600 cash secure put. And this is why the person who asked me about leap calls just a few minutes ago. Oh, I didn't realize I was drinking out of this cup. This cup is pretty badass. If you guys are Marvel fans or fans of the Punisher. But sorry, ADD. But someone who's asking me about buying leap calls on Tesla, this is why I don't like buying it, because it is so much easier to make money selling puts. So check this out. You can go out to March and you could sell, especially if you have a large account, like you said, you could sell the 700 cash secure put for almost $2,900. Okay. What that means is if Tesla is 700 or below by March, then you're going to get assigned 100 shares of Tesla, but you're not buying it at 950, which you would be making the decision to buy now if you bought now, or you essentially are, buying it for this price if you bought a leap on Tesla, right? You are naming your own price. You're like, dude, I'm willing to buy Tesla at 700. So if it falls to 700, yes, I definitely want to get assigned. And you'll get assigned 100 shares of Tesla at 700, but you sold the put for $2,900. So you got a minus $29 from 700, and we're talking about 680. 670. So 671, right? So we're talking about 671 would be your cost basis on Tesla, and you could do this on a large account. So if you have margin and you sold this put on Tesla, well, because you have a margin account, you're not required to put up the money to buy 100 shares of Tesla at 700, right? Depending on your account, depending on the stock, you're going to put up a fraction of that. And I love selling cash secured puts on stocks that I really want to own on my margin account, because I can use the actual cash to invest in other things, right? If I'm still building out my portfolio. So that is why I love using margin. So yeah, you could sell a 700 cash secured put going out to March on Tesla for almost $3,000. If Tesla doesn't hit 700, or it's above 700 at the time of expiration, you keep $3,000, no questions asked. So this is why, like, the bigger your account gets and you are equipped with option strategies, the easier it is to make money in the market, right? And you don't have to do anything boneheaded. So instead of going out to buy a leap on Tesla and needing it to go up in value, right? You need it to go up in value. I don't need it to do shit if I sold the 700 put. All it needs to do is stay above 700 and I'm golden. I don't need it to move. It can go down, it can go up, it can go sideways, it can go upside down. As long as it stays above 700, I keep $3,000. If it falls below 700, then I get rewarded by buying a stock that I want to buy at a price that I want to buy it. So hopefully that makes sense. But this is why the power of cash secured puts, and the power of really being able to sell options, knowing how to sell options, it's unparalleled. So hopefully that answered your question. Do you accumulate any dividend stocks? Yes, I do have dividend stocks, but I'm not a dividend investor, meaning I don't make investment decisions based um, on I don't make investment decisions and build out a dividend portfolio based on the dividends that stocks are paying. Now, if I want to buy a stock and I have a high conviction on it and it ends up paying a dividend, then great, yes. And I always reinvest the dividends using drip. I don't cash those out. All right. Is now an opportunity to buy Microsoft at 329? No, dude. The time to buy Microsoft is not now. The time to buy Microsoft is, when it's at a crash or a correction. Or if you are a diligent dollar cost averager, sure. But not now, man. Talk about Solana, please. Okay, I'll talk about Solana. SHIB, I already went over this. Let's see. How far out of the money do you set your strike price on Tesla? I don't know what you're talking about unless you're talking about a cash secure put, in which case I just went over an example going out to March using the 700 put. But basically, if you're selling a put, you sell it for a price that you want to get assigned at. Clear Hayes donated $5. Thank you so much, Clear Hayes, for always watching, always donating. You are a boss. All right. I know a lot of people like to sell cash secure puts 35 to 45 days to expiry. I just went over one that was, well beyond 45 days to expiration. You're very smart. Thank you so much. Thank you for the compliment. Can you do a small account challenge? We did have a small account challenge, but I just got so inundated with, running the actual alerts and answering beginners' questions and responding to people on the options mastermind channel and on the Zoom calls. It just got too much. I have a question for you. Who's your best fortune teller? Remember yesterday, Bruno, what's going on? So I did. So yesterday I did like on the Discord, I like to do trivias every now and again. So I said, guess the SPY closing price, and whoever comes closest without going over, I'll send you either Bitcoin or money via Cash App. So Bruno yesterday got it within like 7 cents. He was the closest. Bruno, send me your info, dude. I told you send me your Bitcoin address or your Cash App. I didn't get a DM from you. But yes, that was an amazing guess. He got it like within 6 or 7 cents. It was unreal. But yeah, and if you guys aren't joined up to the Discord and you want to be part of a great family of 4,000 plus traders, sign up, links in the description below. Also, you should see a link in the description for putting in if you're not part of the group and you want to get my weekly watch list, put your email address down below. Leave it in if you look at the description, you'll see an email form. Put your email address in the email form down below. I will send you my watch list every Sunday for free, and you get other things, not just a watch list, but I talk about plays that we went over last week, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I will send that to you absolutely free. So put your email address in that form, and I will happily send it to you. Okay. All right. Let me see. Sorry, Z, I didn't know you were going to show an example of Tesla before I asked a question. Oh, yeah, no worries, Tesla, no worries. Vic, what's up, bro? What's going on, Vic? Have you been buying the Astra dip? No, I sold cash secure puts on Astra. Michelle, what's going on, Michelle? Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you so much. If you have a question, let me know as well, Michelle. What do you think about SoFi at these prices? I think you can easily, just like I showed with Tesla, I think you can easily sell a cash secure put on SoFi as well. So, if you go out to, and it's pretty easy if you go out, because it's a cheap stock, but if you go out to March, you could sell the 12.5 cash secure put on SoFi for $1.50, meaning that if you get assigned 100 shares of SoFi, your cost basis will be, why can't I do math today? Your cost basis will be $11, right? if you got a sign on this. You can go even further out. You can go out to July, right? And if you sold the $10 put on SoFi, you could sell it for $1. Let's just say $1.40. So your cost basis would actually be $8.60. $8.60 if you got a sign on SoFi. So that's why selling cash secure puts is a far superior strategy than, especially on something that's tanking, than trying to buy and guess, right? So yeah. All right, let's look at the, I want to look at what the market is currently doing because it's been a while since we checked on the market. But it looks like the S&P is down almost a full percent. Looks like the NASDAQ is down 1.5%. And it looks like the Dow Jones is down 0.37%. So a little bit of bleeding here midday. Well, it's not even midday. The market's been open for an hour and a half. You know what? Actually, let me see if there is any breaking news on CNBC or on MarketWatch, because usually the Fed meeting actually started today, right? It's tomorrow's when they're going to actually talk or present, but the Fed meeting started today. So we could see some news coming out of the Fed meeting. If let's see, just want to check and see if there's really any news that came out. I don't think so. But yeah, this looks to be some pre-Fed announcement volatility. So, you know, depending on, I was thinking about buying VIX puts for tomorrow, hoping that the VIX would drop on a green day, but the VIX is not high enough for me to buy puts, so I'm not doing that. Now, we do have a hedge against the SPY, by the way. So we did buy a debit spread on the SPY, a debit put spread on the SPY at the 467 strike. So currently that spread is up, because if you look at the SPY, we're at 461. So we're up on our hedge. And again, I mean, learning how to hedge is vital in this market environment. If you don't know how to hedge and the person that you're following hasn't taught you how to hedge, well, then I'm sorry. Come join us and you will learn how to hedge. But yes, we bought a put spread on the SPY yesterday. With regards to Tesla, you know, I saw people buying a shitload yesterday, and I was saying that you're buying in the middle of nowhere because, you know, it popped below the 50-day moving average and closed convincingly below that. It wasn't a wick like we saw on December 6th when it popped below but closed above. And I could easily see Tesla filling this gap right here. There's a gap here between 900 and what was it, like 946. I can easily see Tesla filling this gap, potentially retesting 900 and maybe even the 100-day moving average at around 875. That would be so juicy for selling cash secure puts, because the puts would be even worth more at that point. So, all right. Let's see. Greetings from Macedonia. What's going on? Alter Ego. Cisco or Fortinet. So I almost shorted Cisco yesterday, and then the market closed, and I didn't put in my position. But I posted this in the Discord chat. I was saying that this looks eerily similar to what happened back here in August. So, you know, we had that bearish Harami candle, and I was actually going to buy puts on it for today, but then the market closed and I forgot about it. So I wouldn't buy Cisco here. This is what's called a double top. I think you want to wait on Cisco for sure. On Fortinet, I mean, I like Fortinet as a stock, but you want to wait until it finds support. I don't mind scaling in here at the 100-day moving average. But again, this is a huge red candle. We're talking about a 6% candle just for today. So you want to wait until it finds support before jumping in, right? So, all right. Have you talked about Diz? Are you bullish or bearish on DraftKings? Jay, what is all your portfolio on DraftKings? This is like the third question you ask about DraftKings, man. Hey, someone's spamming some crypto bullshit on the chat. I'm gonna ban them in a second. No, DraftKings is horrible. I mean, look at this chart. This is a falling knife. You don't want to be caught holding a falling knife. Wait till it finds support. It could potentially find support here, but I mean, you know, if you bought DraftKings, wow, I didn't even realize DraftKings. I remember when we had bought it last year, or was it earlier this year? No, we had bought it earlier this year at the breakout of this wedge. But I didn't realize that DraftKings was almost $80. I did know that it traded in the 60s, but no, man, I don't like DraftKings here. I definitely don't. All right. What are your thoughts on CRO? I talked about CRO as well. Let me just put this spammer in timeout. Cybertruck Duo. What's going on, Omar? What's going on, man? How you doing, man? Okay. Just yield up. I don't know what that means. Harley electric bike SPAC coming up. Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's why Harley Davidson shot up yesterday. I don't know what it's doing today. Probably deleted all of those gains. Yeah. This would have been an epic short here. I knew that Harley Davidson electric bike thing, that story wasn't gonna last. Yeah, I think Harley's trading. It's a good stock, but it's trading at insane multiples right now. Chris, yes, Z's Discord is really good, way better than other groups I've been in. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much for the compliments. All right, wow, 4K raise for St. Jude's, awesome. Yes, it is. What platform is the Options Mastermind channel? The Options Mastermind channel is on the Discord. So if you had already purchased the options course, you get lifetime access to that mastermind channel. We do a group call every month where I go over, anything that you guys are stuck on from the course, from your own options trading that you want to go over. I will answer your questions just like this on live stream style, but it's just for you guys. So yeah, it's on the Discord. Can we get Leap's channel on your Discord? No, definitely no. So sounding old as fuck, rewind the tape. Yes, I am. Are you bullish on Fisker? Not really. Not really. How can I extend the membership to get the options course? You'll see a link for the options course in the description. Just that's where you can buy it. I'm not really bullish on Fisker. I think Fisker is at the price it's supposed to be. It does have these waves where it does pop up, and sure, you can buy it and set a stop limit. But, I think it's at the price, at the valuation that it's the level 5 autonomy, the supercharger network. So that's why Tesla keeps going up, because there's so much that the market is pricing in, and they might sometimes be doing a bad job of pricing it in. But yeah, it's forward looking. What is Fisker doing? Fisker needs to, and any other company needs to show you before it grows that there is a reason for it to grow like that. Anonymous donated £100. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Thank you so much. Don't know who that was, but appreciate you. All right. Any thoughts on DocuSign? Yeah, wait until Kathy buys it, and then it will tank even further. No, it's showing support here. I mean, it's showed support here for almost 2 weeks now. So I don't mind an entry here, and just set a stop limit. It actually didn't do that bad on earnings. It beat out both on earnings and on revenue. I just think that its guidance was a little bit less than what the market wanted. The market did not want to hear, hey guys, we are a COVID story or a stay-at-home story, right? The market wanted to hear other developments, things that it was potentially doing beyond the stay-at-home narrative. So, but again, I don't mind an entry here. Just don't go heavy, and just be sure that you're setting stop limits, guys. All right, let's see. SoFi, yes, I covered SoFi. Can we buy DraftKings or Penn as a cash secure put? Sure, you could sell cash secure puts on whatever you want. Would I do it? No, I wouldn't. Are you bullish? Are you still bullish on Roblox? I mean, guys, price action, changes your sentiment. I bought Roblox when I had alerted it. It was sitting here in the 70s when nobody wanted to buy it. And now it's 107. It popped all the way up to 140. It is going to continue to be a volatile stock, but I do think it belongs above the hundreds, especially with its metaverse play, right? And this was one where we had made on this pop here right after earnings. I think that call option made 500%, I want to say. and went all the way up to 800% towards the middle of the day. So, we got really lucky on that call option that we had such a big one day move. But yes, I mean, being bullish on Roblox doesn't mean that you could buy it in perpetuity. I was bullish on it in the 70s, less bullish on it above 100 because I think it belongs above 100. So, meaning what upside do you have? From 70, I think you have a lot of upside. From 100, I think you have, a little bit of upside, but it might be slower moving. All right. What is your thoughts on Sundial? I mean, all the cannabis stocks will eventually rally once we start getting marijuana legislation, but that's not the time right now. Could you do more swing trade alerts, please? I send out alerts the way that I trade the market. Sometimes the market is viable for swings, like it was back in 2020. Sometimes it isn't. Right now is the market for hedging, for looking out for blue chips that are at a discount, for rebalancing your portfolio, playing bullish plays, right? Like a lot of the plays on our Discord have been selling call spreads. I just closed a position on Toll for 40% as well. Toll Brothers being the home builders, but we had a put spread on Toll when we bought it here at the high, and yeah, actually we sold a call spread, but either way, it was a bearish spread. And then I know some of the moderators also on the Discord have had basically bearish plays all along. Someone had a bearish play on Nvidia as well. But yes, there's a time the point being that there's a time to do everything, right? There's a time to swing trade. There's a time to be bearish. There's a time to be bullish. There's a time to be neutral. And right now is not a swing trading environment, to be honest, unless you feel like losing money. All right. SE. Oh, I said I would talk about SE. No, this is what you call a falling knife. Wait until it finds support. You want SE to find support, and it will likely find support around here. So it could easily fall below $200 before it finds support. But I was saying this in the Discord, and someone who's a huge fan of SE got a little bit tickled by me saying that, SE is overvalued. And it's a good stock with a lot of growth, but it's overvalued at the current price. Wait until it finds support. And I think that me calling it overvalued kind of irked him a little bit. So, but it is, right? I mean, and you could check the valuations if you go to something like Seeking Alpha, right? So you could see that its valuation is is terrible compared to the sector median, right? Price to sales, price to book, PE ratio doesn't exist because obviously it reports negative income. So, its growth is amazing, and it needs to continue growing, but it has to find a way to make a profit so that it can actually trade at decent earnings multiples. But you could see that its revenue growth year on year, 131%, revenue growth forward, 69%. But yeah, its growth metrics are amazing, which is why the stock, obviously, as I said before, the stock market is forward looking. That's why the stock continued to reward it, because of its growth. But at some point, the stock market wants to see you prove your worth through earnings. And if you can't do that, then, it's going to drop. Lena says, Samir. I don't know if you guys ever seen that video. I think it was in India, but it was like a rally car driver and his assistant or his navigator, and his name was Samir. But it's probably one of the best videos ever uploaded to YouTube. But I had posted that in the Discord as well, in the off topic section. All right. All right. Affirm. Morning Z, late again. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, thank you so much. Marwan says, Samir. That video is so good. That video is so good. All right, let's look at Affirm real quick. So Affirm, also a falling knife. There's this trend where of a bunch of dead cat bounces, right? Where you see the stock dropping and then it looks like it wants to find support and then it sort of creates this inverse, this rounding top and then it falls further. But Affirm, I would be, I don't mind dollar cost averaging here, but I would wait for the 200-day moving average. And then Square, I'm actually going to open up a hedge on Square because I have a call calendar spread on Square that's out, that's further out until January. But I might actually be taking a loss on that depending on what happens here in the Santa rally. Like, can fintech stocks find a rally during if we do see a Santa rally? It'll be very interesting to see if fintech stocks like PayPal, Square, Affirm, SoFi, if we see a bump in those, right? Or if they will continue to drop. So we will see. But yeah, I might open up a hedge in the form of a credit put spread, basically setting a floor on Square in order to make up for some of the potential losses that we will see from selling a call calendar spread, which is a slightly bullish position, right? And then PayPal was up earlier today, but let's see what it's currently doing. Yeah, slightly up. So PayPal might be finding support. Square, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on when you're looking, has exposure to Bitcoin. So that's why it does not move in the same manner that PayPal does, because it has way more exposure to Bitcoin than PayPal. So let's see if we do get a stock rally and we do get a crypto rally. I will venture to say that we will likely see a stop the bleeding moment on Square. So, all right. Let's see. Would you wait till tomorrow to buy the dips? It depends on what you want to buy, and it depends on the type of investor you are, right? So Shay says, Samir, you were breaking the car. Enzo says, listen to me. Yes, that's the exact video that I'm talking about. That's the exact video that I'm talking about. If you were totally liquid now, planning to retire in less than 10 years, but don't need the money, would you start DCAing into FANG stocks? Susan, if you've been watching the channel, that I don't like deciding upon the fate of people's retirement portfolio. So I won't tell you what to do with your retirement portfolio. But if you were totally liquid now, I would question why that is, first of all, right? I don't see how, if you were planning on investing, how you would wait this long to do it. Now, if you're somebody who's just completely brand new and you learned about the stock market yesterday, then yeah, sure. But, trying to time the market by going completely liquid is usually, as stats show, a losing strategy. But there are certain blue chips that I think are decent buys. Facebook was one at the 300-day moving average when it hit below 300. But if you're looking at Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, I mean, I think that these are so high. You have to give them a chance to cool off. I'll be honest. Netflix just fell below the 100-day moving average, just fell below 600. I actually had this in the Discord. I said, waiting to see if Netflix can fall below 600, because, I think that there will be an opportunity there. It popped above 600 on I think it was the Squid Game hype, because the numbers for Squid Game were so good. And it looked like we could potentially be hunkering down again because of the variant news. But, I was curious to see what would happen as a conclusion of this double top and whether we'd fall below 600. And it did fall below 600. But I think you can wait. Plus, remember, next year is going to be a high interest rate year, likely, as they raise the federal interest rate. So that is, likely going to affect FANG stocks as well. But again, I don't want to make a decision or tell you what to do in your retirement portfolio. Talk to a professional. That's just what I would do. Walmart is booming. Yes, Walmart was a buy for sure after creating this triple bottom. And you can see I already had this channel pre-drawn. But Walmart is definitely a buy, right? This is called a triple bottom here. But it is in this channel, so it'd be interesting to see if it gets to, if and when it gets to 152, what would it do? Would it get rejected and keep bouncing in this channel here, or would we finally break above? But yeah, I mean, Walmart and Costco just absolutely killed it on the retail front. You see Costco here forming a potential double top. Oh, another long-term sector that I really like is XRT. This is the S&P. This is the retail sector of the S&P 500. So I was saying that, you know, anytime you get a chance to pick this up at major support, I think you're picking up a pretty lucrative portion of the S&P 500, because this is the portfolio that contains all of the retail stocks. And especially if you're going to see a Santa rally, you could see a little bump here. So I do like dollar cost averaging into XRT as well. All right. We're going over an hour here, and I definitely need to drink more water and drink more coffee. So I will, and I need to see what's what with the Discord and send out trade alerts and whatnot. So yeah, I will likely wrap this up. Used to just watch his videos. You talking about me? Not sure who you're talking about. What do you think about Teladoc Health as a company? I think it's terrible, and I don't understand why Teladoc and Zoom are the second and sixth largest holdings in Kathy's portfolio. I just as a money manager, I don't see how you can make that decision. But whatever, to each their own. All right. Let's see. All right. Yes, I will wrap this up for sure. Thank you, Z. Appreciate the live stream. Appreciate you, Shay, Sia, Karen, Homia, Giovanni, Mr. P, Nigel, Scott. Thanks for Samir Carr's rally video. Yes. Best tip so far. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you. For those of you that are part of the Discord, I will see you guys in literally 2 seconds. And we will continue the conversation there. Again, if you want the mailing list, right, where I will send you my free watch list every Sunday, and you are not part of the Discord, just put your email address in the link that you see in the description, and I will send you my what do you call it? My newsletter with my watch list every single week. So just put that there. And if you want access to the Discord, sign up. Link is in the description. We are doing our next Zoom call likely this weekend, for those of you that are in the Diamond Plus Traders group. So yeah, looking forward to that. I love, chopping it up with you guys. And I will see most of you in the Discord soon. Peace.